Good evening, guys. I see some new faces, and I see some past faces I see every month, so thank you guys for coming. I'm just going to give you guys a general crime update on what's happening, or just a general update on what's happening throughout our valley and, of course, Canyon Country. Like Alan said, we had the ribbon cutting ceremony on Monday for the new station. We are so excited about that. That was a partnership, of course, between the 5th District Board of Supervisors. Stephanie English certainly represents Catherine Barger, and she was a big part of helping plan that out and getting us through all our roadblocks and everything that it took to make it complete. And then, of course, the city, Mr. Striplin, and the entire city council. So thank you, Stephanie, and of course, thank you to the city. And we are looking forward to occupying it in 3 or 4 weeks. So exciting times. So, gosh, what's new? What are we going to start talking about first? Porch pirates. So if you guys have been watching TV, they're saying, hey, get your Christmas shopping done early, right? They're afraid of toys aren't going to be available and stuff's not going to be available for your Amazon orders and all your Target orders and Walmart orders and stuff. So anyway, now's a good time to start thinking about those orders on your doorstep. We've had a lot of porch pirates in Santa Clarita. It's certainly a phenomenon that is going on all around the county, if not the country. You order your package and then it arrives at your door in a couple days, but before you know it, before you can get out there to go get it, somebody's taking it from you, right? So just some things to think about. If you can track your package and you know when it's coming, as soon as it gets there, go out and get it. If you're not going to be home, or you're not going to be, you're out of town, or you're going to be home late, maybe you can have it delivered to a neighbor. Just things to think about. Ring doorbells, or certain type of video camera doorbells are really, really popular. We do have a lot of theft in Santa Clarita, and a lot of people are able to give us doorbell footage, either from Ring or Arlo or Nest or whatever kind of video doorbell you have. So anyway, think about that, because people are going to be ordering a lot of packages in the next couple months, getting ready for Christmas and the holiday season. Fire season. So we always joke that fire season is year-round, and I think it is. Stephanie certainly knows that, coming from the fire department. But we are truly in fire season right now. It's been windy, and you guys know our red flag conditions. And every time it's windy, where does the news go to do their story? They go up to station 150 over off of Golden Valley in the 14. That's the spot. They're either there or in Porter Ranch somewhere, right? So anyway, the Channel 5 News was there last weekend. So if you see any smoke, don't assume somebody else is calling it in. Please, please, please call 911 so we can get over there. That we've got a great fire department out here and a lot of aircraft, and you've probably noticed in the last couple years that as soon as a fire breaks out, our gracious fire department is up there with helicopters and planes and you name it. So they do a great job. We certainly assist them with any evacuations and stuff, but the real more of the story is, please, any smoke you see, even if you think it's something little, please, please, please call us so we can get out there and address it immediately. What else? Crime mapping. I know I talk about this every month, but it's great information. If you're ever wondering what type of crime's going on in your neighborhood, maybe where you work, where you live, anywhere, you can go to www.crimemapping.com. Super, super, super simple to use. You don't need a password. You don't need you don't need to have a degree in aerospace dynamics or anything. Absolutely easy to use. And it's a great resource. You do not have to have any password. You don't have to watch any commercials, nothing. You just go on there, type in an address, a zip code, and it'll show you what's going on. So a great resource. LASD transparency. We get questions all the time about what's going on in the Sheriff's Department. And Sheriff Villanueva started an LASD transparency page on LASD.com. That's the Sheriff's Department's website. And there's great information on there. You can look at crime data, arrest data, use of force information, deputy-involved shooting information. Our complete manual, policy and procedures, probably a couple thousand pages is on there. Our complaints, discipline, everything, you name it. Body-worn cameras, all that good stuff. So a great resource. 9 p.m. routine. I know I beat you guys up every month about 9 p.m. routine. But we could save ourselves a ton of crime in Santa Clarita if at 9 o'clock everybody remembers before they go to bed to lock your cars and close your garages. You would be amazed at how many people leave their cars unlocked in their driveway, in front of their house, or just leave their garages open. Believe it or not, maybe some people feel safe doing that, or maybe some people just forget. but leaving your garage door open, you know, what's in our garages, valuable tools, bikes, you name it. But what's really scary is if you leave your garage open, and then of course you have a door that leads from your garage to your house, somebody can get into your house. That's what's really scary. Garage door openers, a big thing it's not recent, but we've had an uptick in people breaking into cars, which are parked in the driveway or the front of the house. And then, of course, what's in there is your garage door opener, right? So most new cars now, you just reach up and in your center console and hit one of those 3 buttons, and you know, there goes the garage. So they break into your car, maybe it's locked or unlocked, they hit your garage door opener, and there's your garage full of all your valuables, right? So keep that in mind. Mental health resources. This is a constant thing that we are always talking about. We're very fortunate in Santa Clarita that we've got an abundance of low cost or no cost resources for everything, drug, alcohol, mental illness, you name it. If there is any resources that you or a friend or a family member needs, please, you can get a hold of Alan, you can get a hold of me, you can get a hold of anybody at the sheriff's station, get a hold of your zone leader. Alan, I'll remind you to send out the zone leader or little matrix with all the zone leaders. Your zone leaders for Canyon Country are your one-stop shop. It's one deputy for Canyon Country East, one for Canyon Country West, and they're your one-stop shop for absolutely anything you need, whether it's resources, whether you're having a problem in your neighborhood, whether it's a business dispute, a neighbor dispute, you name it, landlord-tenant dispute, you name it. And of course, it's Deputy Stowers and Deputy Cervantes, and this is our updated crime prevention roster. And Alan, I'll send it to you sometime tomorrow so you can send it back out. But anyway, it's amazing how many of our arrests that we make have something to do with mental illness. To be very honest with you guys, a large portion of our jail inside the station is made up of mentally ill people. That's everything on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like lightweight anxiety or depression, and a 10 being all the way up to a 5150 welfare and institution committal, and everything in between. And a lot of times that mental illness is exacerbated with drugs and alcohol. So if you, a family member, a friend, need any resources, please, we've got our intervention specialist at the station. He's a civilian intervention specialist. He has no interest in arresting you or anything like that. He is only there for resources. He will hook you up with, again, low cost, no cost resources, anything you need in Santa Clarita. So please take us up on that offer. What else do I have for you guys? Crime Stoppers. Okay, we have a lot of people that want to report crime, but they get nervous. They don't want to call the station, right? Even though you can always remain anonymous when you call the station, as you know, all of our station lines are recorded, and people still get nervous and they don't want to call the station. So we get a ton of tips. I don't know how many a month, but dozens and dozens and dozens on crimestoppers.com. You remain anonymous. When we get the tip, there's only 2 people at the station that process them, and we don't even have a way of contacting that. It goes through an anonymous encrypted email system. We don't even have a way, if the person doesn't leave us their contact information, we can't even figure out who that person is. So absolutely anonymous, and we've had some huge cases out here that we've been able to solve through Crime Stoppers. So again, that's crimestoppers.com. Credible information, social media, it's the best thing in the world, right? But also sometimes it's the worst thing in the world. There's so much information going out on social media about what's going on in Santa Clarita. Some of it's true, of course, and a lot of it's false. Please get your information from credible sources, KHTS, The Signal, our Facebook, or our social media, the sheriff's, the city's social media, the county's social media, the 5th District, you name it. Austin Dave's a credible source, and there's others, and those just come to mind. I apologize for anybody I missed. But anyway, please look for that credible information. You'd be amazed at when a call for service goes out within seconds, and I mean 20 seconds, it's on social media. And what could be a little thing on a scale of 1 to 10 ends up being a massive thing, but it's all false information. So please check credible information. Trick-or-treating. So Alan mentioned that. Trick-or-treating every year, we always talk about it, and it's something to always keep in mind is all of our residential neighborhoods. I'm going to guess there's going to be a lot of trick-or-treaters out this year. I think in my neighborhood there will be, and last year there wasn't any, or very few. So I think this year Halloween's on a Sunday. Hopefully we have a lot of trick-or-treaters. Please remind friends, families, colleagues to slow down in the residential neighborhoods, because you wouldn't want an 8-year-old darting out in between 2 cars right in the middle of the night. So Check your kids' candy, of course. I know that's hard when they come home with a whole pillowcase full of candy and they want to eat it. And you're like, no, hold on, let me check it. But please do so. As far as crime, that's the meat and potatoes. That's what my job's all about, right? People always ask. So crime is up 5% overall, and that's in the city and the county. And what does 5% mean? That means that on today's date, as we stand today, we are up 5% over this day last year, and that's how we measure our crime rate. It's today's date, it's today's rate versus today's rate of last year. So 21 versus 20. So we're up 5%, which is about 120 crimes. That doesn't sound like a lot in a town of 310,000 people, but I mean, to somebody who worries about crime all day, every day, and thinks about stats, it's a big deal to me. The goal is to end 2021 with less crimes in 2020, but that's been very, very difficult. We've talked about it before with new policies that have gone into effect with no bail and different district attorney policies. The fact of the matter is that we have our repeat offenders in Santa Clarita, people that we've arrested 2 or more times. That number is growing exponentially every month, significantly. It's actually very alarming how many we have. You know, we've got, in the last 18 months, we've arrested quite a few repeat offenders, and our highest person's actually been arrested 22 times in 18 months. Anyway, so we're 120 crimes up. That's not too bad. I certainly want to get down to the negative before the end of the year, but it's going to be very difficult to do, especially with all these repeat offenders. You know, when we make an arrest, the overwhelming majority of our arrests are cited out in 4 to 5 hours. And the very few that make it to court are released at arraignment within 48 hours. So either way, if you get arrested, you're probably going to be released in 4 to 5 hours. And if you do make it to court, the very, very small percentage that does, most of them then are released at arraignment, which is 48 hours. So unfortunately, I can't hold anybody beyond 48 hours, or the department can't hold anybody beyond 48 hours, and they're released back into the community. So as you can imagine, it's difficult for law enforcement, and public safety is quickly becoming, you know, the hot topic. So the good news is that our crimes generally revolve around property crime. We have very little violent crime in Santa Clarita, so that's good, right? But you don't really think about property crime until you're a victim of it. Till, you know, you get up to go to work, and your car sounds real loud. You start your car, it sounds real loud, and you go, oh man, somebody cut out my catalytic converter last night. Oh, that's not fun, right? That's going to cost you a lot of money. That's a $3,000 repair, and that's assuming the auto shop can even get the catalytic converter. Or, hey, my car got broken into. Or, hey, oh man, I left my car unlocked, and you know they got into my car. Or, you know, things like that. The porch pirates. So, property crime is a big, big thing. Again, we're very fortunate in this community that we have very little violent crime. But even with our crime up a little bit, 5%. We still keep, I mean, these publications are coming out almost monthly where they look at the crime rates in Santa Clarita versus other cities and counties, not only in the state and the country, and we keep getting recognized. I mean, we get these notifications almost every month. We keep getting recognized month after month after month after month for, you know, different accolades, you know, and I'm making up this stuff. 8th safest city in the country, or, you know, 2nd safest city in the state, or, you know, again, I'm making those up, but we keep getting all these different accolades. So it's a testament to the community, it's a testament to the police, it's a testament to basically the entire equation we have out here. So we're very fortunate. So with that said, if you see something, say something. We can't be everywhere all at once, right? There's only 240 people assigned to the station and 310,000 people. So we need you guys to be our eyes and ears. Please call 911 if it's an emergency, or call the station, or you can remain anonymous on Crime Stoppers. With that said, I've rambled long enough. Does anybody have any questions at all? Anything? Okay, we're going to bring you the microphone.
Hi. Just to let you know that tonight we don't have a cordless with us, so here, make sure that you get up here to the real microphone to ask your question.
Thank you for being here. Just coffee and a cop in Canyon Country?
Our last coffee with a cop was today, and then the one prior to that was in Val Verde. So yeah, the next one will be in Canyon Country. Yeah, so we'll do it about 1 month from today. And you know, we stopped coffee with a cop during coronavirus, and we brought it back. Oh gosh, I don't know, maybe in July or August. So we've only had a handful of them. But yes, next one will be in Canyon Country. I don't know where. Any coffee shop that's willing to host us. So if you know of one, please let me know. Great question. Oh, really? Oh, I hope he's a good barista. Alan, I think you missed that. Your house is being offered up for coffee with a cop. Yeah. Hopefully you're a good barista. Hey, there you go. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Captain. Congratulations on the new station. I was glued to the ceremony, and best of luck there. A question regarding the new station. Are we going to get the ability to tour it, the public, or is that down the...
Don't hold me to this. I want to say yes. It's something I have to coordinate with the city, okay, and we would like to do it. Please don't hold me to this. Before we physically move in, and I think we're going to be moving in about a month. As you can imagine, the physical move is quite the process, and they actually started moving in computers on Tuesday, and I think it's 168 workstations worth of computers, and then, as you can imagine, all the furniture and everything else that goes along with it. So we will make an announcement if and when there is public tours, and I think there will be. I just don't know when the date is, and I don't know if it'll be before we move in, but that is the goal.
The two things that stood out to me regarding the new station: everybody's going to be under one roof, which I guess we're all the divisions are scattered. That can only be a great communication thing. And can you talk about, they talked about a big communication tower. So how is the communication in general going to improve up there, from dispatch centers to phone lines? And then the last question I'll throw at you and give the mic back. In Santa Clarita, there were two of them last night on the scanners. We 1022 pursuits. Explain what that is. I love it. I support it. I don't want to have, they don't pursue cars out here, obviously, unless it's a, something really extreme. So you're not sitting with your family at a red light. And
that's right. Okay.
And there were two of them last night. Okay.
Yeah, great question. So what he's referring to is vehicle pursuits. So I'll work backwards. So vehicle pursuits, as you can imagine, are very, very dangerous. And essentially what that is when we are trying to catch somebody and they drive away, we can pursue them. However, the Sheriff's Department's got a very strict vehicle pursuit policy. I won't get too into it because I don't want the bad guys to know what we're allowed to pursue and what we're not. But ultimately, regardless of what the vehicle pursuit is started for, the determination of whether we continue the vehicle pursuit really comes down to, weighing on that scale the risk of trying to apprehend this person versus, putting the safety of, mom and pop driving down Soledad Canyon at risk. So, in the easiest terms, the way we say it and the way I can explain it to you is, once the suspect's driving becomes too reckless, and we measure it, we have a scale, a sliding scale of what we consider too reckless. That's when we 1022 it. That's a radio code for canceling it. So the deputies constantly weigh that need or that risk of, hey, do we need to apprehend this person right away versus public safety? And as soon as it gets too dangerous, we're going to cancel it. And the reason is, many years ago when you canceled a vehicle pursuit, the bad guy got away. Now, with the cameras and the license plate readers and technology and our computer system, we can find anybody, anytime, anywhere. And the honest truth is, even if it's a very short vehicle pursuit that lasts, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a couple minutes, we will absolutely find them at a later date. It's almost a no-brainer, basically every time we can find them. So great question. Communication tower. So the actual tower itself is very tall, and it's up on a tall hill. I think it's a 168-foot tall tower. And it's up on the top of Golden Valley, whereas our current tower, I don't know how tall it is, maybe half that, maybe even less than that. And of course, it's on a low point in the city. I'm not a radio communications expert because there is a whole expertise in that field. But from what I am told, the actual communications themselves will be better. If you ever listen to our radios, they're very, 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 very staticky. Actually, you may not get the static on your scanner, but as far as our portable units here, very, very staticky, and basically the signal bounces off repeaters, and there's repeater towers all around the area, well, all around the county. And depending on those repeaters, the signal may be good, it may be bad. We may get good reception, may get bad reception. Apparently, these towers are supposed to correct a lot of that. And I'm sure there's a lot of technology that they'll be putting in those towers in the future. So excited about that. With regards to your question about dispatch, the new dispatch is a much larger room, probably 5 times the size of our current dispatch, and it's got an extra dispatch center or an extra dispatch console. So on the real busy nights, that could be a big fire, a big earthquake, it could be any civil unrest, it could be a large fire, anything like that. We can bring in extra personnel to help with dispatch. You may or may not know that we dispatch out of each sheriff station, which is different than LAPD. LAPD's got one central dispatch downtown LA. The calls come in there, and then they're farmed out to the different stations, whereas the sheriff's department, when you call 911 or you call for a regular call for service, it comes straight to the station, then it's farmed out. So the stations can get very impacted. So that is a big, huge plus of the new station. You also mentioned not being under one roof. Many years ago, we moved 40-something detectives and detective personnel out to leased space across the street. They are not in our station, and we've got 2 trailers in the parking lot, which houses another 10 to 15 people. So yeah, we have anywhere between 40 and 50 people, 55 people outside the station. As you can imagine, that's not good, especially when all your detectives are off-site. So getting everybody under one roof will improve communication, certainly the flow of information, and it'll be a great thing. And then what was the third question, or fourth? I forgot. Did I? Hey, that was pretty good. Normally I forget.
The old station, is there plans for it, or does it belong to the city, or?
Okay, great question. That is probably the most common question I get, other than what's the crime today? So the old station, one of 3 things will probably happen to the old station, and I don't know where, who, what, when, where, or how. I don't know when it's going to happen. It's above my pay grade, I'll tell you that. But the 3 possibilities: the county owns the land and they own the facility. Technically, in theory, the county could sell it to a private company or a private investor. Also, the Santa Clarita Courthouse, as you know, is a very old courthouse, and we outgrew it many years ago. In fact, they only do misdemeanors there now, and all felonies go to San Fernando, all traffic goes to Chatsworth, and family law goes to Van Nuys, and civil courts at Chatsworth. So it is a possibility that the state builds a new courthouse which would handle all of that. Where that courthouse would be in Santa Clarita, I don't know, but it is possible that it could be there. And then the other option is that we could use that, we could keep it, retain it as a sheriff's department, and use it potentially to house, for the next few years, some of our detective division as a satellite office. So that, I mean, it could be anybody, but it could possibly be for major crimes, Special Victims Bureau, Narcotics Bureau, fraud and cybercrime, some of those units. And then it's possible that down the road, as the city and the county start becoming more populated, we actually repopulate that as a substation. So it's going to kind of depend on how fast the construction goes in 5 Points behind Magic Mountain, and then some of these other city projects. But that certainly could be a substation that would service the unincorporated county area west of the 5 freeway. Great question. Anything else? Ma'am, did you have a question?
I just wanted to know how you can protect your catalytic converters.
Oh, great question. So the question is, how can you protect your catalytic converter? So we've partnered with a number of auto repair places, I should say, around the city. And basically what they're doing is you can bring your car in free of charge, and they will actually engrave your license plate number on the catalytic converter, and then they also paint a sheriff's star under there. And a couple of them, and I know this sounds kind of wild, but it works, a couple of them are welding a chain, and I know it sounds like a big ordeal, but it's not. It's very quick. They weld a very short chain from your catalytic converter to the frame of your car. So in theory, if it were to be cut, so the thieves get under there, they jack it up. 2 thieves, they jack up the car. One guy jacks up the car, the other guy gets under there with a battery-powered reciprocating saw, and they're in and out in 30, 45, 60 seconds. It's amazing to see it. We've actually got it on Ring camera video. We have one on video. But anyway, if they were technically to get on there and cut it out, it would just hang and dangle because it would be chained up. Or, in theory, if they go underneath and see the sheriff's star, they're going to know, hey, I don't want to steal this one because it's engraved. If they did happen to steal it, though, and it's been engraved and they didn't pay attention to any of that stuff, if we were to catch them, at least we would have a victim. So what's happened is we've made quite a few traffic stops where we catch these catalytic converters, generally at night, anytime after 11 o'clock at night. And the problem is they'll have a trunk full of catalytic converters, but we don't have a way of knowing who the victim is, right? So we can arrest them, but the case isn't going to go anywhere. It's not going to be filed because we don't have a victim for it. Whereas if you get your catalytic converter engraved at one of our partner automotive centers, Canyon Country Muffler's one of them, RNG Brakes and Alignment's one of them. Reeves Automotive was doing it. I'm not sure if he's doing it this month. And I think we've got one other place that's doing it. But it's free of charge. You just call them up, make an appointment, and they'll engrave it for you. And then at least, we would have a victim, and then in theory, you would be able to, in theory, get restitution. That might be kind of difficult, but in theory, you could get restitution. But at least we could get you your catalytic converter back. Sure, great question. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Do you think community policing will ever come back?
What type of community policing? Because that term's very, very broad. Yeah, it's a term we talk about all the time.
Yeah, the one where some of the community members are selected to go through the
Community Academy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're both graduates, I think.
Oh, that's a great class. Yeah, so we hear the term community policing all the time. Very general term. That can mean a bunch of different things. So right when you said that, I was, instantly thinking of all kinds of different things. So Community Academy, I stopped it during coronavirus. We stopped a number of things during coronavirus at the station. If you would have asked me this a year and a half ago, I would have said, oh yeah, the Community Academy will be back in business in a year or 6 months. I couldn't have guessed a year and a half later that I would be standing up here telling you I can't give you a straight answer. It looks like coronavirus is on the decline. We do have a couple people from the station right now who are out for coronavirus. So, even though watching the media and, news reports, you think it's over or it's coming, it's slowing down, we still have it at the station. So the answer to your question, I don't have an exact answer, but as soon as I feel it's safe where I can bring people in the station, I want to do it. I mean, that's a huge program. People love it. We love teaching it. I know when we were doing it, when I used to be at the station before I came back, I used to go down and teach a couple classes, and I really enjoyed it because people wanted to be there. It was fun, and that's a great program. Yeah, so I can't give you a straight answer. 6 months, maybe 3 months. It really depends on the fate of coronavirus. Yeah, and one option is, at the new station, we're going to have a giant patio area, giant patio area, and maybe we do the Community Academy outdoors. Where, then we don't have to bring people inside, they don't have to worry about it at all. So that'll be an option. Might be a little cold outside, but that might be an option. So great question, though. Thank you for that. Any other questions? Well, I think I'm off the hook and Stephanie's on the hook if you guys don't have any more questions. Thank you.